I'm a bit lost. I'm a little bit lost, not going to lie, but he didn't. Glad he didn't. Delete this conversation. So wait. You want Keith, delete your conversation. You want Alex, delete your conversation. Later on, Keith, Dylan, delete everything. Why are we wiping away, just like tried to wipe away all the blood in the back of the car? Because he's committed a murder. November 7th, now a little bit before this, remember Carrie Barsha said that it has come out that they have a missing person. All right? They don't know if Demiah Appling is alive or dead. They right now are investigating a missing person and had a previous encounter. She said she went to Amy Valentine's house. Then she went to meet Keith Anderson. And they're just collecting the phone data. They don't have it where they can read it yet. They've just collected things. All right? So they're just starting the investigation and collecting. The first encounter with Wayne, he says, I ain't seen her in months. Talking about Demiah. Don't know what you're talking about. Can't stand the girl. He's trying to distance himself as far as he can. November 7th, they have now gotten some phone data. And the phone data are some of the text messages we've seen from Keith Anderson's phone, which was that he was in the car, that Demiah Appling was in the car with Wayne. And now they have these text messages about this setup. They talked to Amy Valentine, who had told them that he had went over, and putting this together. They go back and they get a search warrant for his phone. So now they want to get the information off his phone. But guess what? He tells them, oh, my phone got wet, the one that I had on October 16th. It doesn't exist anymore. Not there anymore. This is my phone. Hands him a phone. All right? And they do a long interview that day with him. They think they've got the phone that's going to be able to have the data and bring everything up. We're going to find out the very next day they don't. But I'm going to play just a little blurb.
I have enough electronic data telling us there's more to the story. If whatever happened has already happened.
Yes.
You got it? So with that,
Can't run away from him.
Would that be?
I know, but what I'm saying is
Would that
I don't
be?
know what else there is.
But we know you left with her. You were the last person that we can track her being with, and we know you were in a car, and we know y'all left here.
I didn't really leave with her here, or leave at all that night.
Who had your cell phone then?
My cell phone?
Yeah.
Me.
Okay, then we already know that's not true, because you went to other areas of the county. We know exactly where you went that day.
Why'd you go to your grandparents' house up in the hammock?
I didn't.
You went to the hammock.
Electronic data says you did, bud. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I didn't though, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Then who had your phone?
I should have my phone all night.
What?
With me, it's always on.
I did not go to the hammock. I had my phone on me. So we understand that the reliability of the data, which you're going to see, is that the phone is on him. But he did go to the hammock. But give me that you listen to a 39-minute round and round conversation. And you'll have that round and round conversation, the full extent that you listened to previous 2 days ago. There was a method to the madness. I did not go to the hammock. Yes, you did. No, I did not. I did not leave. Yes, you did. I did not leave. I'm telling you, I did not leave this place.
I have enough electronic data telling us how.
I'm telling you, I did not leave this place. But guess what? On November 8th, less than 24 hours later,
Down in the hammock, down next to Hardy's, when you go down and take a walk.
And that's what you said, that's where you said y'all went the night after she left here.
Yes, it was during that night actually, because I was wet.
But you said y'all had sex for 20 minutes, you said it was like 9:30-ish, and then she left on foot, and then you and
Around
Dylan,
10 o'clock.
yeah, went to your grandma's house.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Because I was talking to my mom and I figured out timelines for things, because I'm aggravated and everything happens.
Yeah.
So when Demiah left here, you're saying now that you went to your mom's house and then you went to the hammock?
I went to the hammock.
So you left straight from here and went to the hammock?
I went this way, and I went to the hammock. I took that highway right there, and that's how it was about as far as I remember.
And yesterday you said you didn't go to the hammock that night?
Yesterday I said I didn't know.
No, you didn't.
Yesterday I said I didn't know.
That is a straight up lie. We talked about it for over an hour. 2 hours, it was 2 hours and 15 minutes.
4 hours.
It wasn't 4 hours,
It
it
was
was,
4 hours.
it-
I was absolutely
Yep.
And you're sitting there trying to lie, saying I said that, but I did not. What I told
we
you.
went over it and you told us our cell phone records were wrong.
Yeah, 'cause I told you I didn't know.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I said I didn't know.
Hey, I
Because how am I
see.
supposed to remember a day like 16 every
Is
single
this that other one?
The same day you had sex with a juvenile? You can't remember that?
It's disgusting. It's ridiculous.
I'm not the one that did it, you did.
Yeah.
You wanna do something?
He said he went to the hammock after Demiah left.
Hey,
You told us you didn't.
I said, okay, so I said I didn't know. And then after all
TSJ,
that
you wanna look through this
I
one?
went to my mother's, and I was talking to my mother, and I said, hey,
It's Max.
this is actually what happened.
the reason you heard 38 minutes around and round and round, you went to the hammock. No, I didn't. You went to the hammock. No, I didn't. You went to the hammock. No, I didn't. So I could play the very next day. You know what? I went to the hammock. Because he's lying. Why would he? Why would he? Because he just committed a murder and they're now on to it. And why are they even there? Why are they even there that day? If you remember, it was because now April Glover, Special Agent April Glover from FDLE, has been pinging his phone and found out he did not give them the phone. And that phone was not disappeared and broken. It was in his house. And they used a specially trained dog. The dog finds the phone. They get the phone. And guess what? It's got a bunch of information on it. Information he definitely didn't want anybody to know about. That's why he didn't tell them the truth. That's why he didn't give it to them that day. And now he knows, man, they got something. Because they knew right where I went. And it went from I did not leave to okay, I left. So let's watch the players. What you're going to see right here, this is Keith. Showing up in the Wellburn area, if you don't know where that is, it's the Lake City area. So on the day before, he's there. This is where Waymore lives in this area. This is where Keith is on the 16th. They are still, he's in Lake City. pointing this out. Obviously, he is not guilty. He may have played an awful prank that turned out way worse than what he had imagined, but he is in Lake City. We're now on the 17th. He's still in Lake City. Now he's on the move. Remember, you guys were told that he's going to school, which is back in Cross City. So he was taken back on the 17th. And there he is. That's later in the day. This right here is at 1:20 p.m. He's back in Cross City. So during the time, Keith Anderson is in Lake City. Now let's talk about Dylan Mize. Sorry. I'm definitely not a PowerPoint expert. There you go. All right, yeah, Dylan Mize right here. This is where Dylan Mize is staying, Timbers. It's over Cross City side. There's Cross City right there. That's a very accurate hit. All right, remember the bigger the bubble, the bigger the cone, and they make the cones of a conservative or saying that it's definitely within this area. It might be at the bottom there, or it might be the top there, but it ain't Old Town. It's Cross City at the Timbers. Make some sort of call that's not as reliable. But he's somewhere in there. Still ain't made it back to where Waymore lives. Now he's over there. All right. Now this is 8 o'clock on October 16th. So 8 o'clock. If you don't know your military time, after 12, you're going to have to start at it. Now he's starting to leave. He's driving up. And by 8:43, he's already well aware over to Hammond area. He's well away from Wayne. All right, we're getting hits by 9:21 over here. If you remember, Demiah Appling is still texting till 9:44. And who she's in the car with, which is not going to be anywhere near there, is going to be Wayne. Okay? So Dylan is not in the car. Dylan is not in the kill area. Dylan is back at the apartments. And remember the text messages we just went over, where Wayne is texting him, waking him up, and telling him, or whether he was awake or not, I'm not 100% sure, but he said, I got to put on clothes, I'll come and I'll see you. What have you been doing? Oh, returning a shovel. So that's what Wayne said to Dylan. So Dylan is not in the air. That's why I'm kind of making you watch these things, just so we clear that up. Now 11:08 is when there starts to be the communication, and we're positive within that cone of where Dylan is. Once again, we're still in the timbers. This is at 127 getting a hit. May have moved outside, not sure, but he's still within that cone right there at the timbers. All right, it's right here that Dylan starts these, Wayne starts these texts. Remember, green on this right here is the Facebook messages of Dylan saying, "What are you doing? I'm returning a shovel. Yeah, let me put some clothes on," meaning I'm not with you. I'll go meet you. Dang, I got a lot to clean in Max's vehicle, was that last text. Now you see him on the move, and guess where he is? Now he is at Waymore's house. Understand, it's already been texted. I got to clean what's in the back of the car. All right? He's there at 3:37 a.m. That's when Dylan is told about the body. Dylan goes back home. Key elements. Demiah is texting that she's in the car with Wayne while Dylan is in the timbers. All right? Her last texts that are still going on, Dylan is in the timbers. Dylan is asked to come over. When he's asked to come over, he's also Wayne also says, "I got a mess to clean in the back of Max's car." So the death already taken place. All of that's taken place. It's not Dylan. All right, let's look at Waymore. Oh. All right, so this is Waymore's night. I want to point a few things out because I know it's going to be difficult. If you actually play it, you'll be able to see it, but I know for some of you this is tough. All right, we've got the Timbers apartments are over here. This is where Dylan stayed. We've got Alex's house is up here. All right, if you can see right there, that's where the victim is recovered. Very close to Alex's house. This is where the body is recovered. Down here, you've got Wayne's house and you've got Demiah's house, all right? Just give you a little bit of a reference. Oh, it's going to start it over for me. Oh, good deal. sees her, then calls Keith, get her back. Get her back. The plan is already formulated. Meet him in the car. Tell her to meet me in the car. Just say I'm taking her to you. Gun's going to be in that car. Because there was no gun earlier in the day, and there was no gun after in the day, but there's going to be blood in that car. And guess what? There's going to be a shell casing in that car. What you heard is no one else, or Alex wouldn't have put that there. Or sorry, not Alex, but Max wouldn't have put that there. This is the man 15 times said he didn't go anywhere, too, on November the 7th. There's the cell tower that is closest to Wayne that a lot of the calls and some of the data bounces off of. All right, we're at 6:55 on October 16th. It's just showing, once again, Dylan's not there. It's over in, I mean, I know that's a big cone, but it doesn't make it to Wayne's house. It's a phone call from and so the yellow is Keith. All right. So we know that Wayne is inside this cone right here. We're at 6:57 on the 16th. All right. This is when the plan begins. All right. Wayne makes a phone call to Keith. Get her back over. So the first encounter has taken place. And now it's get her back over here. What Keith may have very well meant just as a funny joke. Not something, it's much more sinister to Waymore Gerhardt. We're at 9:12. It's that area where they had just talked, Wayne and Keith. And guess what? He moves right after that. But remember, Wayne had said, tell her to meet me at your camp. Because that would make more sense. She'd come to your place. And remember, you just had Carrie Barsha Point. That's the area where Brenda Cox lives. And Keith Anderson's camper, when he's across Old Town, he's right in front of it. It's just a little camper parked right in front of the house. So why is Wayne moved over there? Because Wayne is picking her up, which is exactly what the text message said. And we got Demiah texting, meaning Demiah is alive. And you're going to have very soon, she goes, maybe the word is radio silent. No more dad. No more using her. And just to clear something up while it's on my mind, they talked a little bit about there seemed to be some activity afterwards until they started reading the what the messages were. Where are you at, girl? Come back home. Yes, people were messaging Demiah, but we have nothing that says that she was messaging anyone else. She's dead. And no post. This is a girl, this is a 14-year-old teenage girl. TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, text messages, phone calls. None of that, okay? A 14-year-old girl has a phone glued to the hip, and if someone pries it away, they'll get a new one. All right? They're going to text. So, there's the pickup. Now we've got traveling. Once again, these are like some sort of data hits. He could have been using an app. He could have went by something that picked up on his phone. Now he's down here. We got a good hit there. That's very specific. This is going to be the end of Demiah's life. In the middle of the woods. No one else sees. Lost and abandoned. Sounds like the path that she was on. Easy target. And exactly who he wanted, but didn't want him. And that's offensive to him. That angered him. You talking about this girl? We'll hear in just a minute. Been with this guy, that guy, the other guy. What the rumor said. But not me. The gun was brought because he understood that. She'd never liked him. And there in a dark October night, what many would have said a girl on a lost path, a girl with all these issues, the law calls a human being. A human being. Accidentally hit the wrong button, and I am thankful beyond all measure that I think I've got us back close to the right spot. You don't have to rewatch the whole thing. All right. Look at the certainty of that spot. Now you know what he needs? He needs a shovel. Makes a phone call to Dylan Mize. And guess what Dylan Mize testified to. He called me and said, I need a shovel. And a little bit later, he's going to say, I got a mess in the back of the car. At this point, as he's leaving, he's got to get a shovel to bury what he's killed. All right. He's about to cross the bridge. Guess who he calls? Or sends a message to. His boy up in the bell. Right where he's headed to bury a body. You up, my guy? Right as he's crossing the bridge. Back in the hammocks, still looking. We're now at 12:16 in the morning on the 17th. We've now entered October the 17th. Now he's over the bridge. Now, there's been some argument. These cones could be anywhere in that cone, yes. So here's what we know. With this data point hit, he's on the other side of the river, Swanee River. He's in Gilchrist County. He's over in the Bell area. I even think I heard the fence at one point say, so you don't know he didn't go there and then turn around. Why? I asked you to use some common sense. What you heard was that service was bad. Back in 2022, in fact, it said it got much better after. But service was bad. Data points can be random. Like, it depends on, did someone use an app? Did somebody make a phone call or get an incoming phone call? There's lots of reasons why a data point may not come up. But there was one guy asking for a shovel, there was one guy returning a shovel, and there was one guy driving. He didn't drive here and go, you know what? At 2 in the morning, I just want to cruise and check out Bell. All right? What he's doing is burying a body. Demiah Appling. And just for reference, once again, this is Alex's home, this green spot here, and then right here, it's tough to see, I know for people in the back, that says victim recovered. So the victim is recovered right there. So at 12:39. All right, he's on his way back, and the reason why we stop it right here is we got a dang good data. Right there's Wilcox, that Wilcox curve. Right there's Fanning Springs, right there's the bridge. But we got a great hit where he hit something, somebody's Wi-Fi or used an app or something, but definitely in Gilchrist County, right there on the. That's 2:11 on his way back in the morning of the 17th. Back home, 3 o'clock, 2:59. Text Dylan, messages Dylan. Got you, what you been doing at almost 3 in the morning? And he's going to say, returning a shovel. He's home for the night. It's 3:41. Remember, he's called Dylan, come on over. Dylan's going to head over. He messages Jeremy Lyons, Max, I made a little mess in your vehicle, but I'm going to clean it out and burn the stuff later. Think of the most important, that's it for that. Dylan does come over. But I've already shown you that on Dylan's. You understand that Keith during that time was in Lake City, that Dylan during that time was in the Timbers. You even heard in the interview that Max was passed out at the house. And you heard you saw during the text messages, it wasn't Max, it was Uncle, and it was Wayne. It's Uncle Wayne, all right? That's in the car. It's go to Keith's camper, and Wayne will pick you up. Out there in the middle of the woods, as I said, was not just a girl going down the wrong path. Was not just a girl that started dabbling in drugs. She's not just somebody with a bad home life. She's a human being, a real person. And that man wanted something that she wasn't willing to give him. Now, according to him, she had given it to other people. But why not him? So I'm going to take this, put it in the car. I'm going to pick up a 14-year-old girl. I want you to hear his description, and I want you to think of his mindset. What I also want you to think of is how many moves it takes to complete the action. Premeditation can be in just a moment. Did you think about what we were doing? And there's been multiple steps before this moment. But this gun in itself takes multiple steps to complete what's necessary.
Because her last words that she ever spoke in her
Oh.
phone by text were that she was with you.
Pull out.
and she was scared of you and didn't want to be with you, and
And
maybe
the
that's
shell
why
is then
you
put in the
decided
case,
to do what you
the
do, because
bullets
you
put
couldn't
in.
have her, but you wanted her, and she wouldn't give you the time of day.
I don't want her at all.
Then to put it back
Yeah, well,
in.
then why did you take her that night? Because you wanted her and she didn't want you, so you were gonna prove a point to her, and you were gonna take her and do whatever you wanted with her, and she was gonna comply. And when
Here, I'm gonna object, this is
it's not
misleading.
fucked up and disgusting when you're having sex with a 14-year-old? That's not fucked up and
You're
disgusting?
accusing me of doing something to her. That's
You
disgusting.
pausing that, mister? Okay.
In his mind, he wanted her, and she ran away. So he calls her back. He has to put a bullet in there to lock it down. He has to pull it back. He's got to aim it. He's got to pull the trigger. Remember, he said, what about TJ Gainey? He's sending dick pics with his face on it. What about Mo? Mo's sleeping with all these girls. But when he wanted it, he was told no. You you saw how many actions it took to get to where we were. That's after he's called Keith Anderson. That's after he's picked up Demiah Appling. That's after he's went all the way down into a wooded area where no one can hear and no one can see. Only one person talked about shooting that night. It's him. I killed a squirrel.
Because her last words that she ever spoke.
We just agreed we weren't gonna hear anything more from
I
Marcia.
hit the next button. Sorry. We're hitting the next. This is the next scene. What you saw was that girl was now that. That's what they found. Well, it was a week later, 2 months later before they found the body. This is where they found her, right next to Alex's house by Sun Springs over in Bell. What was a beautiful girl has been murdered with a bullet hole in the back of her head. Not just a bullet hole, but a .22. And you heard the analyst Ritchie, when analyst Ritchie testified, she said, I cannot conclusively say that it was that exact gun, but she said the ridges were the same. Said the shell casing in the back, I can. It's got the same pin markings. So the shell casing that was in the back of the car, she was confident. But the bullet had been messed up. And to think, totally a Jarrett Thomas move right there. This right here is the life of a human being. Talk to a hole in the back of the head. He said would have been catastrophic, is what the coroner said. Through the brain. And if you remember, as they were washing it, a piece of the skull fell out. And thank goodness we were able to recover that projectile. It stayed right there. So it entered into the back, went through the brain, came out the other end. Once they washed her off. You're going to go back there. You're going to deliberate. And the crime before you today is actually 2 charges. Tampering with evidence is one of them. Burying a body, tampering with evidence, telling people to delete messages would be tampering with evidence. I mean, not going to really focus on the tampering with the evidence. What I'm going to focus on is the first-degree premeditated murder. All right? This is going to be in a packet that you're going to get. The judge is going to read it to you and then give it to you, and you get to take it back there. But the law is given to you. This is what the state must prove. To prove the crime of first-degree premeditated murder, the state must prove the following 3 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. 1, Demiah Appling is dead. No question about that. Dr. Coyne said that he sent a DNA card off, a sample off that he took from that body. That body did come back as Demiah Appling. It is Demiah Appling. Demiah Appling is dead. The death was caused by the criminal acts of Waymore Gerhardt. Shooting someone in the back of the head is a criminal act. Taking her off into the middle of the woods and setting her up and shooting her in the back of the head, then driving her across the bridge and burying her, that is a criminal act. That there was premeditated killing, there was a premeditated killing of Demiah Appling. There was a bullet that went in there. There was a bolt that was closed. It was pulled back. It was aimed. The trigger was pulled. But even before that, it was, hey, Keith, get her back over here. Get in my car. Driving her. Remember, she's begging. She's saying, please don't. I'm sorry. I wasn't mad at you. Something has totally shifted her to really wanting to see Keith and excited about seeing Keith because she's sweet on Keith to now she's in fear. It's because she's with him. And she knows what he wants and he can't have it. And so he gets angry. That's why he brought a gun. There is a definition, killing with premeditation. You're also going to be read this. Is killing after consciously deciding to do so. The decision must be present in the mind at the time of the killing. The law does not fix the exact period of time that must pass between the formation of premeditated intent to kill and the killing. All right? The period of time must be long enough to allow reflection by the defendant. The premeditated intent to kill must be formed before the killing. So he had to think about it. And he definitely thought about it. And he set it up. And he drove her out into a wooded area in the middle of nowhere for a reason with a gun. There was thoughts behind what he did. What was she in the eyes of Waymore Gerhardt? What was she in the eyes of a lot of society is irrelevant. Because in the eyes of the law, she was a human being. Demiah Appling was a 14-year-old girl. Demiah Appling was alive and a human being. Until he changed it all that day. And when you go back there and deliberate, all I ask, look at the evidence. Remember what was testified to. And use just a little bit of common sense. As what was asked at jury selection, not every single moment of every single bit of life is on a video. But boy, did the phone help us. And you saw where he went. And you saw his text message. And all I ask trier of fact. So your role as trier of fact is not as someone a good guy or a bad guy. I'm not asking you to like any person that sat in that witness stand. That's not your role. Your role is not what the punishment should be. Your role as trier of fact is, did Waymore Gerhardt murder Demiah Appling? I believe without a doubt. I believe the state has proven beyond every reasonable doubt. Not forced doubt, not any pushed doubt, every reasonable. And I thank you for paying attention. I know it's been long, but you're going to get a verdict sheet. And on this verdict sheet, it's going to have case, and it's going to have verdict of the jury, and then it's going to say, as to count 1 of the indictment, which charges first-degree murder, you're going to see, A, the defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We find further, so if you find A, then you will look at these other 2, which says the defendant discharged the firearm causing the death of Demiah Appling, and or the defendant did not discharge a firearm. I don't know how else he killed her with a gun. I mean, that's what the doctor said. So if you find him guilty of A, first-degree murder, then you have to answer that next question. Right? Now, there are lesser includeds, and the judge will tell you about that. Mr. Jarrett and defense may also get into it. But there's also the lesser of second-degree murder. And you'll hear the terms, biggest difference is no premeditation. B, if you believe that, he is guilty of the lesser included offense of second-degree murder. So you can't mark them both. It would be either A or B. And then C, the defendant is not guilty. All right? So those are your 3 choices. I ask that you mark A because the defendant is guilty of premeditated murder. Then it has count 2. There are no lesser includeds in count 2. And you must pick either A, the defendant is guilty of tampering with evidence, or B, the defendant is not guilty. And then you will date it today, Friday the 13th, and then a 4-person is the one that will make these check marks, and we'll sign it at the bottom. Right? The judge is going to go over it. I just like to go over it just to make sure that you understand. And I'll leave you with this. Thank you for paying attention. And I ask that you mark A. The defendant is guilty of premeditated murder. Thank you.